everybody. In this video, we're going to take a look at the second story from chapter 21 in the Road to Latin textbook called Cras, which means tomorrow. So like I always tell you, when we're doing these stories, if you want to see them in a different way or just get more information about grammar, vocab, things that'll help you out, I'd encourage you to take a look at my website. You can either find a digital copy of this story if you want to just see the clean version, or one that I've adapted to try to help you see it a little bit. Things like the cases highlighted button, English translation, just different ways to kind of help you through. So if you're looking for more information, I'd encourage you to start there. Now, since this is the second story of chapter 21, I'm going to assume that we're already in a place where we have the grammar under control, we have the vocab pretty down, and you're ready to start reading. Because like I always tell you, if you don't know what the words mean, it's really hard to translate. You're kind of setting yourself up for disaster. And you do want to know the grammar in advance just so you can kind of see it in context and recognize it and say, oh, hey, I remember that. That's what I'm looking at here. Oh, this is this grammar technique. It just helps you with your translation, okay? I remember in this chapter, we were talking about future tense and really looking at all the conjugations, but specifically third and fourth, kind of the second half of future tense. So once you're in that place and you feel really good about it, the thing you want to do is find a partner. I always tell you this, read the story out loud, right? Practice your pronunciation and your speaking skills. Read it to a classmate, and then ideally, if they can read it back to you, you'll be able to work on your listening skills, which is really important. You never want to shut those off, but any way that you can do it, try not to just read the story in your head. You could probably figure out and translate it, but you're not taking advantage of all the power your brain has to be able to read this as a language and translate it and understand it. So like I always say, do that first, and hopefully you'll be able to find a classmate that can help you with that. Once you've done that and you're ready to dive in, go for it. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to kind of review it to make sure you're on the right track for this. So the story starts with Cras, which means tomorrow, right? The name of the chapter story. So you have Cras, Cornelius, Filios, Lucium, et Aulum, ad forum Romanum, ducet. So remember we said that Cornelius had taken his two boys to Rome, right? That's where they were going in one of the previous stories. And now they're actually going there. You're in tomorrow, right? Cras. So it's saying tomorrow, Cornelius will lead. So here's the future tense, right? They're getting ready to go to Rome, but they haven't done it yet. Ducet is the verb ducere, which is a third conjugation verb. And since you have the E in front of the T, that's how you know that it's future tense. So it's saying he will lead his sons, Filios, right? His sons, Lucius and Alice, to the Roman forum, ad forum Romanum. It's accusative because it's just a prepositional phrase, so showing motion toward. So if you're curious about what they mean by this, the Roman forum, there's a reconstruction. I think I found this on Wikipedia. To the right of this video. And you can see it. It's a meeting place where business would be conducted. There's temples, there's different shops, the Senate house is there. It's sort of the heartbeat of the city. And I'd encourage you to look it up. It's a really cool place that a lot of different things happen in, right? The Roman Forum is famous. But you should look up what it's about, why it's there between the hills, the history of it. Like I said, whenever we come across these things in the readings, you should look up the culture behind them and the history. So I'd encourage you to do that and get a full sense of what the Roman Forum is. But that's where they're going to go. Then you have ibi pueri aedificia multa et magna videbunt. So there, meaning in the forum, the boys, that's my subject, they videbunt. The bu gives it away as being future. They will see aedificia multa et magna. They're going to see many big buildings, right? So you can connect the adjectives with et. So literally it says many and great or big or large buildings. In your translation, you really don't need the et. It's just connecting these two adjectives to describe aedificia. So again, it's saying there, meaning in the forum, they will see many large or great buildings, which is true, right? There were temples, all sorts of stuff in the Roman forum, and that's what they want to see, what they're going to see. Then you have multos viros claros quoque videbunt. So they will see, same verb. And again, there's no word in red here. There's no nominative. It's still talking about the boys. So they will also see, quoque, multos viros claros, many famous men, right? Viros. So famous or distinguished men. Then you have nam, viri clari, ad forum Romanum quotidie veniunt. So for, because, right? They're going to see these men because famous men, viri clari, right? Famous men, they come to the forum, veniunt ad forum Romanum, right? They come to the Roman forum, and this is not future, it's just present tense, right? They do this. They come to the Roman forum, quotidie, daily, right? So every day they come to the forum. So it's saying if you go to the forum, you're going to see famous people there, which is true. Then you have multa verba de gloria patriae dicentur et audientur. So the subject is multa verba, many words. So many words, de, about the gloria. Remember, de goes with an ablative noun. So about what? Gloria, about the glory. Patria is genitive. So it's about the glory of the fatherland, meaning of sort of the Roman Republic. Many words, decentur et audientur. They will be said and will be heard. So both of these are future. You can tell by the E in front of the ending, but the NTUR ending is telling you that they're passive voice. So you're not saying many words will say. That doesn't make sense. It's many words will be said. Future tense, passive voice, right? So many words will be said and will be heard, meaning people are going to say them and other people are going to hear them about the glory of the fatherland. Fortasse Cornelius sententiam de bello dicet. So perhaps Cornelius dicet, he will say, right? This is dico dicere, third conjugation verb. The E tells you it's future tense. So perhaps he will say sententiam, right? His opinions, or his thoughts, right? De bello, about the war. So remember, they've been referencing there's a war going on, and maybe Cornelius is going to get up there and start speaking. Then you have tum pueri laeti erunt, quod Cornelius a multis audietur et laudabitur. So then the happy boys, or sorry, you will say the boys will be happy. Erunt is future of essay. So then, meaning if he gets up and speaks, the boys will be happy because Cornelius audietur, future passive, he will be heard, and laudabitur, he will be praised, a multis, by many, meaning by many people. So again, there's your ablative of agent telling you who's going to do the hearing and the praising. So the idea is their father might get up and speak, and the boys are going to be happy because they're going to feel really proud that so many people are coming to listen to their father. Then you have forum Romanum, virorum et feminarum erit plenum. So the Roman forum, remember Roman forum, or forum Romanum rather, forum is a neuter noun. So this is the nominative singular, right? The um ending. So you're saying the Roman forum will be, erit, future tense, it will be full, plenum. Remember, when you have full, you're looking for a genitive, you're full of something. Full of men, virorum, and of women, feminarum, right? Those are both genitive plural. So it's saying the Roman forum tomorrow will be full of people. Erit pompa in foro Romano. There will be, erit, a pompa, a procession, right? Or a parade, you might say, however you want to do it. But there's going to be, a parade, sure, a parade in the Roman form. And again, foro Romano here is ablative because you're saying in the actual form there's going to be this procession. Viri ad templa deorum properabunt. So men will hasten, properabunt, again, the BU gives it away as being future tense. They will hasten or hurry ad templa, to the temples. Again, templum is a neuter noun, so templa is neuter plural accusative, right? That's why it looks like that. So to temples of the gods. So men are going to run to the temples of the gods, right? It's part of the procession. It's religious, so they're going to be at the temples. Feminae ad tabernas ambulabunt et pueri tardi ad ludos current. So the women, right, feminae, they will walk, ambulabunt, they will walk ad tabernas. They're going to walk to the shops. They will walk to the shops. And the tardy boys, right, pueri tardi, the slow boys, you might say, they will run, current, the E is giving it away. Curo curere is a third conjugation verb. The E before the ending is telling you future tense. So they will run to school. So it's saying women are going to be going to the shops, and slow boys will be running, ad ludos to the games, or to, I guess the games is probably what it's talking about here more than school, right? Because there's like this parade. Then you have in foro, non erit otium, quod multum negotium agetur. So in the forum, there will not be, non erit, right, future tense, there will not be otium, leisure. Right? So in other words, no one's going to be just kind of relaxing and doing nothing. There won't be leisure because multum negotium agetur. So much business, negotium, will be done. Agetur is future tense, passive voice. Now, otium and negotium are kind of interesting. Otium means leisure. Negotium with a G is really neck, like not, the negation. So not leisure. Negotium means business, right? So those words are related. You're either having fun and doing business, or you're not, right? And you're having leisure, right? But they're basically the same word, just with a negation in front. So it's saying it's going to be very busy and there's going to be things happening, right? It's not all going to be leisure time because there's a lot of business to be done. That's really what the forum is, right? It's a place of business and public speaking, things like that. Then you have Cornelius rogabe, none pueri in tabernas venietis. So Cornelius will ask, right? Again, it's projecting to tomorrow. He's going to ask, none, surely boys. Remember, pueri is vocative here because he's talking to the boys. Surely boys, you will come venietis, right? You all will come into the shops, in tabernas. Right? So here he's asking yes or no question, but he's expecting the answer to be yes, right? That's why he used none. He's like, you're going to come into the shops, right? Then you have the response, libenter in tabernas veniemos, nam dona ad tuliam liberosque mitemos, respondebunt filii. So libenter, gladly, right? Gladly veniemos, we will come. Again, future tense. So he says, you're going to come into the shops, right? Yeah, of course. Gladly, of course, we will come into the shops, right? In tabernas. So the answer is yes. For dona, gifts, right? Mitemos. Mitemos is mitere, third conjugation. It means we will send. The E gives it away. So he's saying, for we will send gifts to Tulia and liberos and the children, right? The kids, meaning they're the brothers, right? So like, yeah, we'll go into the shops because we want to get gifts for everybody. Respondebunt filii, the boys or the sons will respond. Again, respondebunt is future tense. Then you have a tabernis multa dona ad vilam a servis portabuntur. So you have many gifts, multa dona, right? So many gifts will be carried, right? Portabuntur. The BU gives it away as being future tense. It's portare, right? To carry. So you're saying many gifts will be carried, a tabernis, out of the shops, ad vilam, to the house. So they're buying all these gifts. A lot of them are going to be carried out, and they're going to be done a servis. So these things are going to be carried by the slaves. There's your ablative of agent. So again, remember, they don't travel alone. If you're a wealthy Roman, you'd bring your slaves with you. So it's saying the slaves are going to carry all this stuff out. Parvum scutum ad publium parvus gladius ad servium mitator. So a parvum scutum is a small shield, right? So a small shield, you have to go to the end, mitator, it will be sent, right? A small shield will be sent to Publius, ad publium. And a parvus gladius, a small sword, and we have to again imply mitator, will be sent, ad servium, to Servius. So one is getting a small little shield, the other one's getting a small sword, and that's the gifts they're getting. Ad Tulliam fibula pulchra mitator. So to Tullia, a fibula pulchra, this beautiful pin, right? It's like a decoration, sort of like a brooch, right? This pin that you use to kind of hold things up. The pin, or pins rather, it's a pin, rather, singular. A beautiful pin will be sent to Tullia. So it's just laying out who's getting what. So the kids are going to get a little shield and a little sword, right? Publius and Servius, and Tullia is going to get this beautiful pin. Okay? Then you finish with this. You have tum Cornelius et filii per angustas vias Romae ad circum maximum properabunt et cum amici spectaculum expectabunt. So then Cornelius and his sons, Cornelius et filii, right? Cornelius and his sons, they will hasten, properabunt, they will hasten through the angustas vias, the narrow streets of Rome, right? So genitive, the narrow streets of Rome, ad circum maximum, to the Circus Maximus. So they're going to hustle away from the shops and they're going to go through the streets to get to the circus, which is where the games are going to be happening. And they expectabunt, they will look for, right? Or they will, you might say they will watch is kind of one way to do it, expectabunt. They will watch the spectaculum, the games, the spectacle, cum amicis, with their friends. So they're going to go to the Circus Maximus and they're going to watch the spectacle, the games, whether it's a chariot race or whatever else is happening, with friends. Then you have a subsellis spectaculum videbunt, right? So they will see, videbunt, the spectaculum, they're going to see it, a subsellis, from their seats, right? So from their seats, they will watch or they will see the spectacle. Then you have quadrigae per arenam volabunt, and here we figure out what they're doing in the circus, which makes a ton of sense. You have the quadrigae, which are the chariots, right? Those 4-horse chariots. So there's going to be a chariot race, which makes sense, right? So the chariots volabunt, they will fly per arena, through the arena, right? They're going to go really fast. They're going to fly through the arena, right, as they're watching it. Equi celeriter current. So the horses quickly will run. Again, current is a third conjugation verb. So the E in front of the NT gives it away as being future. The horses will run quickly. Viri et feminae et pueri clamabunt. So men and women and children will shout. Clamabunt. The BU makes it future tense. Tandem defessi domum venient et tuliae liberisque dona dabunt. So finally, or at last, tired, meaning when they are tired, they will come, venient, again, the E in front of the NT, whenear is fourth conjugation, so the E means future tense. Tired, they will come home. And dabunt, they will give dona, the gifts. Again, donum is a neuter noun, so the A there is accusative plural. So they will give gifts. When you give something, remember verb of giving, showing, telling, you give something to someone. So they're going to give gifts to Tulia and the children. There's our dative nouns, right? Who are they going to give these gifts to? They're going to give them to Tulia and the children. Okay, so that's all this story is. Hopefully it made some sense. It's really focusing on future tense, and the way that the textbook accomplishes this is by talking about all the things they will do, but it's basically telling you what they did, right? But in theory, none of this has happened yet. But it's like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and this will happen. It's all future tense, so you can get a lot of repetition on it. So hopefully that made some sense. If you have any questions at all about the story or the translation or what you should be doing, put them in the comments below. I'm happy to help you. But otherwise, keep reading and keep practicing. Like I always tell you, you want to do the read and reread method. So read it once, write down any areas you're struggling with, look those areas up and figure out how to do it, then go back and read it again. And the more you do this and keep reading it, eventually you're going to hit a point where you can read it without living in your dictionary or worrying about the grammar, and you still understand it. Once you hit that place, that means you've got the story under control. So read the story and reread it as many times as you need to until you're feeling comfortable that you're in that place. Good luck.